Good morning, Mr. Chairman, honorable members of the committee. My name is Mark Meckler, and I am the president of Convention of States Action. We're the organization helping to move this forward nationally. And I'd like to say, first of all, it's unfair to put me behind Natalie Traver because I don't think I can outdo that.
We did that on purpose.
I could tell. I feel a little bit set up, Mr. Chairman. Look, I'm here representing over 43,000 people in the Palmetto State who've stepped up, signed the petition, and said that they would like the state legislature to act in calling a convention of states. I'm beholden to those people. I travel the country. I've been in over 48 states in the last few years, 18 states just in the last few months. And I know what's going on the ground all over this country. People are looking at Washington, D.C., and they're pretty clear that it's out of control. And they're pretty clear that the place they need to look to fix what's going on in D.C. is into their state legislatures. When I first started in politics 11 years ago, I had a general disdain for all politicians. That disdain still applies to Washington, D.C., but having been in so many state legislatures, I know that the heroes of the United States of America sit in these legislatures right here in your own legislature. The founders gave you the authority, and I would argue the moral responsibility, to stand when liberty was at risk. They told you that if things fell apart, if things got difficult, if Washington, D.C. started to ignore the states and the will of the people, they gave you a power that was unique among all members of the government. They gave you the power to call a convention, propose amendments, and actually ratify those amendments, thereby reforming the structure of the United States government. No doubt the vast majority of American people are in favor of term limits. We talk about term limits for federal officials. That's not just Congress. It means staffers, bureaucrats, potentially the federal judiciary. The vast majority of Americans are in favor of some form of balanced budget amendment. They understand from their own finances you can't spend more than you take in forever. They know that we need caps on spending and taxation. Finally, they know that the federal government does far more than it was ever intended to do. The federal government, there is a list of enumerated powers. The courts themselves have allowed the federal government to exceed those powers, and it's time for the states to rein it in. On behalf of the more than 43,000 people here in South Carolina who've signed this petition, I ask that you move this resolution forward. And I would close with this. You're going to hear people use the term con as a pejorative. You're going to hear them talk about a runaway convention. They're going to espouse fear. That's going to be their primary talking point, is that you should be afraid. America has never been a nation of fearful people. This legislature is not full of fearful people, and I would ask that you stand bravely and pass this resolution forward. I'm here live in Philadelphia at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. When you hear the phrase lives, fortunes, and sacred honor, these are the folks we should think of, those who anonymously gave their lives. Well, today you have a chance to volunteer. You need to volunteer for conventionofstates.com, the movement that's going to save the country. These folks are willing to step up and give everything. We need you to give just a little bit. Go to conventionofstates.com and volunteer today.